The Phillies. Yes, we are going to talk Phillies baseball today. And why? Well, because they disappointed me. I'm not all happy like a lot of people are. It's not. I can't be happy. What the heck happened there? Anyway, I'm not happy. I'm just gonna say, disappointed in the Phillies. We're gonna talk Eagles too. The different perspectives that so many teams, there's so many media people have on our Philadelphia Eagles, even though they're 5-0. But it doesn't matter because I'm so disappointed in the Phillies, and I got to talk a little bit about Phillies baseball. I'm going to draw a little parallel with the Philadelphia 76ers and last night's Phillies loss as well. Trending the AM right here on Philadelphia Sports Network starts live 30 seconds. And a very good morning, everybody, and welcome to Trending in the AM right here on Philadelphia Sports Network. We're live, Facebook, YouTube. You know the drill. Like, share, retweet, follow. This is Trending in the AM, where your opinions actually matter, and it does not cost a penny to hit that like button, to hit that share button, to spread the good word of Trending in the AM. Please do that for me. We've got two main topics on the agenda today: the Phillies' big loss last night, and it's a big, bad loss in my opinion. I am not content and happy like everybody else is with the split in Atlanta, coming back to Philly. Not at all. We're going to talk about that today, and we're going to draw a parallel to the Sixers. I'm not sure if we can find a way to draw a parallel with it to the Eagles or not, but we're going to talk about it, about taking your foot off the throat of your opponent when everything is going your way. We're going to talk about that today for sure. The Eagles, I got lots of random Eagles thoughts and topics today to cover. A lot of things that are on my mind, mainly the different, the wide range of opinions that there are out there in the media on this Philadelphia Eagles team. I mean, they are 5-0. So yeah, we might be frustrated today about our Phillies, but we're 5-0. So and the Eagles are not a team to take their foot off the throat of their opponents. K1, we got to talk a little baseball. You're a basketball guy too. So you might get this parallel that I'm trying to draw here with the Phillies. And last night the Phillies blew a 4-0 lead. So let's talk general speaking first. Phillies come out in game one, a bullpen game, Ranger Suarez, and they dominate and they win. Take all the momentum in the best of five series. Game two, Zach Wheeler is throwing lights out baseball. You've got the Braves, the best team, one of the most prolific offenses of all time, on the ropes, and you let them back in the game. You let them back. You started getting sloppy. You started making errors, base running errors. Topper, Rob Thomson, the manager, bad coaching decisions, and the Braves come back and win the game 5-4. We're going to talk about the announcers in a little bit. I hate the announcers for TBS. We're going to talk about that too. But the thing is, so I got crushed massively back in the NBA playoffs during the Boston series. The Sixers took game one against Boston on the road. And I said on this show, the Sixers cannot be happy after taking game one with getting a split. You've got Boston on the ropes. You can't give them the momentum back. The Phillies have the Braves on the ropes, cannot give the momentum back. And they did. And in that series with Boston, the Sixers gave Boston the momentum back. And even though we came back to Philly in the Wells Fargo Center and our raucous crowd tied 1-1, the momentum was in the Boston Celtics' favor. The momentum coming into Wednesday, yes, we've got Aaron Nola on the mound. The crowd's going to be hot. But all the momentum is back in Atlanta's favor. And that is scary. The whole theory in sports, in outside of football, because football is one and done in the playoffs, the whole theory about taking a split on the road to start a series is all that matters, I think, is a bogus opinion. When you take game one on the road, You can't if you lose game 1 on the road in a playoff series, sure, winning game 2, splitting on the road, getting that momentum. Best of 5 series are all about momentum. And I don't care that they got the split because we don't have any of the momentum. Adam, yes, Topper made a mistake by not keeping Alvarado. He also made a mistake by leaving Zach Wheeler in there. 1 or 2 batters too much. I saw they were up 4-0. Hell, I think it was through 4 innings that Zach Wheeler didn't even give up a ball out of the infield. He struck out like 8 guys in the first 3 innings. I don't think he gave up a hit till the 5th inning. We were straight dominating. And you know what? We give Trey Turner a standing ovation, to get his hitting out of its slump all year. And guess what? Well, it didn't help his defense. Trey Turner supposedly this great defender, and the momentum swing started when Trey Turner committed the first of 2 errors. Trey Turner had like 26 errors this year. He had never had more than 16 in a season. His defense has been atrocious this year. We need to give his defense a standing ovation to fix that problem. But we let them back in the game. And momentum is such a big deal. Well, we just went into what happened, and it's not good. What's up, Garrett? Finally, someone said it. If you're up 4-0, you got to keep going and finish them off. Give them no hope. I'd rather get blown out. Exactly. If we lost that game, if we were down 4-0 early and we just couldn't make the comeback, Garrett, sure. I get it. But when the whole split a series, no matter how it happens theory, is totally bogus. You had your foot on their throat. You could have been up 2-0 coming back to Philly. You could have been up 2-0 and, been ready to, just finish this off in Philly. But now we got to come back to Philly with no momentum. We got to come back to Philly and we've got to take both games because you don't want to. Well, now we got Aaron Nola going tomorrow. And then who knows? I guess Ranger Suarez / bullpen. And then we're going to have to face Spencer Strider again, which we barely beat him in game 1. We've got problems here in this series as Phillies fans. Look, I'm not calling it that the Phillies are losing this series. I'm not saying that the Phillies are done by any means of the imagination. But the theory that when you split on the road the first 2 games of a best of whatever series, that's all that matters is completely and totally bogus, without a doubt, because it's all about momentum, and we've got none of the momentum right now. Same old story, leaving too many men on base. Yeah, there was too many men on base. Errors, bad decisions with the pitching. There were bad decisions all over the place, and it was not good. What stage of grief are we at, boys? We're not at grief yet. This series is not over, Marshawn, by a long shot. But the fact that you could have come back and you were 3 innings away from taking a 2-0 lead in this series. You had all the momentum on your side. And like I said, Marshawn, this is exactly what we talked about on this show about the Sixers back against Boston in the playoffs. You had the Celtics on the ropes after game 1. You let them back in. Once momentum changes in a best of series. Now, and I know, K1 wants to get to football, and we're going to get to football here shortly. K1, can you think of, and I spent a little bit of time last night because I knew this was where we were going to go, to start the show. Not the game itself, but the conversation of momentum and the Boston Celtics Sixers series and this series. I can't figure out how to describe this momentum swing and this bogusness of this, to football. But I got it towards basketball. Phils have been having problems with closers all season. The bullpen has been an issue, and we all knew. All the people watching that watch a lot of baseball and a lot of Phillies baseball know that the bullpen was going to be the biggest question mark this whole entire playoff round. And Jeff Hoffman, who had an amazing season, gave up a big home run. The fact that Jeff Hoffman even is good enough to be in that situation is shocking to begin with. Because nobody, I was trying to come up with a comparison. He's like the Chad Durbin for you older guys of the 08 season. And I got to say it because 08 was a long time ago. And some of you watching might not be old enough to remember some of those guys. But man, it's a problem. After acceptance comes football. I know. We'll get there here. I got lots to talk about on football. I don't watch baseball enough, but momentum only carries over depending on how well the pitchers play. Biggest start in Nola's career. Well, yeah, I mean, I said it before the playoffs started that this playoff run, Aaron Nola was the wild card because he's got $100 million on the line. Is he going to get a $100 million contract in the offseason or a $200 million contract in the offseason? Well, his game he pitched in the in the wild card started leaning towards the 200 million. This is a big one for him. But momentum is a big deal. The Braves were basically through 14, 15 innings of baseball shut out. That prolific offense couldn't hit a beach ball. Their pitchers were rattled. And they hadn't even faced the Philly crowd yet. And then you let them back in it. And that's taking your foot off the throat of your opponent. It's giving them the momentum. It's just, mistakes piling up. And look, I'm not taking anything away from the Braves. The Braves are one of the best teams of baseball of the last 10, 20 years. They have a great team. They've got hitters up and down that lineup. You weren't going to shut them out forever. They got great pitching. They're just a great team, the Braves. I get that too. But you had the momentum right here in the seventh inning. And guess what? You blew it. Phil has earned 1 thumbs up. Well, we've got 12 thumbs up so far on my screen, 4 on Facebook. Make sure you hit that like button without a doubt. Pitching is to baseball as goaltending is to hockey. It's key to the postseason. That's a great little comparison right there. Look at K1 making a reference that's not football related. I like it. I like it. The Flyers season starts this week. I didn't even know that, honestly. Like, I'm so focused on the Phillies and Eagles and Sixers that I have forgotten that hockey season starts this week. I think actually today's Tuesday. Yeah, today's Tuesday. Opening night in the NHL. I don't know if the Flyers play tonight, but I know it's NHL opening night tonight. Same script as last year, but do we get the same ending? Yeah, I know the Phillies have lost a lot of game twos. They lost all the game twos last year, I think, actually, and they still came back to win all but the World Series. But it's how you lose those games, and it's the momentum gained or lost. The Phillies lost a lot of momentum last night, and the Braves gained all of it. They're coming to Philly like, yeah, we're better than this team. We knew it. We had a bad game 1, but we're the better team. And that's a problem. With Nola at the mound, their bats could go silent, and their number 3 has to come to the bank and pitch. Yeah, I get it. I get it. I mean, are we 100% confident in Aaron Nola? I don't know about that. Phillies down on luck. Yeah, well, they did. Adam saying Flyers start Thursday night. Okay. So opening nights tonight. They don't play on opening night. They don't play on the second opening night. They don't play till the third night of the season. Yeah, we don't talk much hockey on this show. I couldn't name more than 6 or 7 Flyers. They've definitely taken a backseat to me at this moment. Told you not to overwork Wheeler. Now he might have to pitch Game 5 in Atlanta. And honestly, that's a fear of mine, mister. Not that he's got to pitch Game 5, that we're going to have to go to a Game 5. I don't know about you guys, but I don't want Game 5. We had the opportunity to have 2 shots in Philly to wrap this series up. Now we have to win both games in Philly, not to go back to Atlanta. That's blowing a game. We blew Game 2 last year as well in Atlanta. I know, and I've seen other people say that and bring that up on Twitter and here, but that's how it happened. Last night, the momentum was sucked out of the sails of this team. I turned on TV to watch Phillies and saw it was on TBS. Look, TBS, forget for a second here the game itself. When they hit that home run in the 8th inning or whatever it was, those TBS announcers would have thought that it was a walk-off World Series home run. Those announcers, TBS should be embarrassed for putting such biased announcers in a playoff series. Basically, you got Jeff Francoeur, a guy that played most of his career in Atlanta, and what's his name, Brian Anderson, who basically is a Braves fan and is from the Atlanta area, calling it Atlanta Braves Philly season. If you're going to be that biased, at least put John Kruk in the booth with them, or Tom McCarthy, or Ben Davis, or you got to do something to balance it out, because that announcing last night was atrocious. Not because they don't know what they're talking about, because you felt like you were watching an Atlanta telecast. And that's not what we're not allowed to get our home announcers in baseball or basketball or hockey or football to call games. But yet the Braves do. That was embarrassing last night. The media and the way the game was called. I would take Nola over their number 3. Of course, most would. So the next game is Wednesday night, probably 6 o'clock again, I believe. They play Wednesday and Thursday night, game 3 and 4. I don't think it goes to game 5. You think that we're taking game 3 and 4. I hope your confidence is that high. National media in general hates Philly sports team. It's been that way forever. Absolutely. Without a doubt. And I think Duck's trying to help me transition to football here, because that is part of the football conversation is the perception here. Again, amateur hour over at TBS. It really was. And Adam knows what I'm talking about. He watched all the game with just like me last night. Those announcers, I don't know if I'd call them idiots. They're probably very good if it was an Atlantic telecast, but it wasn't. It was a national telecast, and it was an embarrassment. I like Phillies, but not over the NFL. No, yeah, I know. Us fans will not get over yesterday's loss, but the Phillies players have moved on. We will bury this Braves team in Game 3. Whoever's calling the game. I like the confidence, Marshawn. I really, truly do. And I hope you're right that the players have moved on. And Rob Thomson, he did not have his best game coach in this Phillies team last night, managing the team. He did not. But if we've learned anything in the last year and a half from Rob Thomson is he knows the pulse of his team. That's the thing with the coaches in this city. Hopefully, Nick Nurse can join this crew. But Nick Sirianni and Rob Thomson have the pulse of their team on lockdown. They know exactly what to say, what to do in every moment, building the team wise, not necessarily X's and O's. I'm talking about leading the team. And if these players have moved on, it's got to be credit towards Rob Thomson for that, just like Nick Sirianni. It's one of the things I've written here, and we'll use this as a segue to some football. You look at Nick Sirianni and the different reactions of him on Sunday against the Rams. You've got him chewing out Jalen Hurts for the interception, like right in his face, yelling at a grown ass man that's the 5th highest paid quarterback in the league for making a mistake, holding him accountable. You've got him standing next to Devontae Smith, who looks to be checking out mentally of a game because he's not having a good game. Then you've got him doing jumping jacks and and celebrating on Hassan Reddick's sack. He knows exactly what to do at every moment's notice. Rob Thomson is the same way. These guys that play for the Philadelphia Phillies love Rob Thomson. They will go to battle for him, just like Nick Sirianni has that same reputation with the Philadelphia Eagles. Now we're going to find out if Nick Nurse has that same thing with the Philadelphia 76ers. So far through the first week of camp and training camp and all the players are saying the right thing. Obviously, they're just happy to get rid of Doc Rivers. A game tonight would be great. Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do tonight. No football, no baseball. I'm not watching a random NHL hockey game. Maybe I'll turn on TV. Maybe I'll just go to sleep early. I'm in good spirits. Bills are back. We signed Josh Norman. Josh Norman's still in the league. We got to rally, fam. Now is not the time to reflect, as Jalen would say. Yeah, good luck with that, TMC. There ain't nothing to watch tonight. It says the game is 5:07 on Wednesday. That's really weird if that's accurate, Adam. 5:07, 6 or 7. I get done at 4 on Wednesday, so either way, I'm happy. Odell still has Joshua Norman's lunch money. Honestly, I haven't thought of Joshua Norman's name in like 100 years. Wheeler took accountability, saying I let them back, and that's on me. Well, maybe it's on Rob Thomson too for leaving Zach Wheeler, and he probably should have pulled him after the 6th. Probably. I know he only had 85 pitches, but you can kind of tell he was losing a little bit there. You also have him taking Kelsey's anger, listening to him. Exactly. The Nick Sirianni, this is something that I didn't write many notes on it, but I just wrote down Nick Sirianni's name, and I didn't write Kelsey into it, but I wrote down Reddick, I wrote down Devontae Smith and Jalen Hurts. Just how he knows each player individually and what it's going to take to get them back on focused on the agenda at hand, winning a football game. The way he can jump up and down and be the cheerleader, he could be the disciplinarian, he could be the psychiatrist, he could be a little bit of everything. Rob Thompson's very similar to that, Duck, as well. Doc Rivers was not like that. Joe Girardi was not like that. But right now we have 2, maybe 3 coaches in this city that are like that. And that's what and in this day and age, that's what you need. You need a manager, a leader of your team in any sport. You're working with grown men making hundreds of millions of dollars, more than you. You gotta know how to manage personality. Nick Sirianni does a fantastic job of it and knows exactly what to say and when. Harper said we have the best fans in the world and they have to come to Philly and beat us twice. Well, they gotta only beat us once in Philly, Marshawn. Because then if they just beat us once and it's back in Atlanta for game 5. And that you don't want a game 5 in Atlanta. Not because of the fans, you just don't want a game 5. That's all there is to it. What do we got? Eagles would not be a good football team without Jalen Hurts. We're lucky he's dedicated to winning. Oh, yeah, of course. If you don't have an elite quarterback, you're not a good football team. I mean, look around the NFL. How many teams don't have elite quarterbacks? I mean, did you watch the game last night? After the Phillies game, I went to bed and I turned the Monday Night Football game on, and I fell asleep within 5 minutes of watching Jimmy Garoppolo versus Jordan Love battle it out last night. What was it, 17-13 or something? Like, pathetic. Pathetic football last night on Monday Night Football. Realistic prediction for Sunday. Davon, thanks for checking in, my man. Can't give it to you yet, man. It's way too early in the week. I normally wait till the last 5 minutes of the Friday show to give a prediction for the Eagles. But at this point, I mean, realistic thoughts and feelings and gut feelings on the game are the Eagles are going to win. I mean, the Jets are not as bad as their record says. Their problem is Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson got a little momentum this week, got a win, played okay this week. The Jets defense is very, very good. Problem is, the Eagles offense is even better. And I was watching a little bit of Liam last night, and his show is titled, "Is A.J. Brown really the MVP of the Eagles right now?" And it goes to show that there are so many players on this team. You take Jalen Hurts off of it, that are leaders, that are playing at an elite level. The fact that we're 5-0 and getting no credit for it at all is insane. But we should. The Jets game is going to be similar to the Rams game in my breakdown when we get later into the week. It's a good team. You got to get pressure on the quarterback. You got to find ways to find the right matchups against their defense that you can exploit. And we're the more talented team. I'm not worried about losing to the Dolphins game, week 7. And that's it. That's my realistic gut feeling at this point. Marshawn's already got a prediction of 27-14 out. It's a little early for prediction for me. I like to save that for Friday. You know that. Mista is a breath of fresh air in Philly sports having Jalen around. It is. There's not many, but it's a breath of fresh air in Philadelphia sports in general. You got somebody like Jalen Hurts. You got Bryce Harper. You got Tyrese Maxey. They're the breath of fresh air in this city right now. All of them. Oh, I thought you were talking about Josh Norman. You mentioned '08. Yeah, sorry. We're boxed up on comments here. Eagles, best competition to year. Jets O-line is, I think that says if. Yeah, didn't they just lose one of their starting offensive linemen for the year? I believe so. Game 3, the link will be rocking. We have to score first to keep the place rocking all night. Well, game 3 won't be played at the link. It'll be played at Citizens Bank Park. But that's another conversation. Eagles can't look past the Jets defense. That could be a trap game if they let it. I don't believe whoever's running the Edge of Philly account this morning. I don't believe in trap games with this current leadership of the Philadelphia Eagles. Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni, mainly speaking, will not allow trap games to happen. Will they lose games? Sure. They're not going to go 17-0. But the trap game philosophy won't happen with this Eagles team. Just like last night we took the foot off the throat of the Braves. That would not happen with Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni. Yeah, they might lose a game, but they wouldn't lose a game the way the Phillies lost the game. Wilson also has played well against us too, so I think we will win. But we've let a couple average quarterbacks and below average quarterbacks look good this year. Look, our secondary is still a train wreck. I'm trying to come up with a way to do a. Why is my screen got all dark there? Did you guys see a change in the screen? Interesting. My screen here, yeah, it got all dark. There it goes. I don't know what the hell happened there. It came back. Look, our secondary is still a train wreck. It really is. There's no doubt about it. I was trying to do a trending up and trending down thing. I don't know when I'm going to start it. Like, pick 2 or 3 guys on the Eagles that are trending up, and my camera just went dark again. I don't know what's. You're just gonna have to deal with whatever this image is here. You don't want to see my face anyway. Um, Whatever's trending up and whatever's trending down. Players on this team, and I'm thinking about who is trending down after, you know, Sunday's game. And look, Darius Slay hasn't played great. James Bradbury hasn't played great. Goodrich and Ricks obviously didn't play well. Our secondary is a mess. And if we can't get pressure on the quarterback and we can't get home, and we can finally someday stop leading the league in almost sacks and actually get some sacks, maybe the secondary would be better. But right now, our secondary is bad. If we're not getting pressure on Zach Wilson, Garrett Wilson's a damn good wide receiver. 6-0 incoming. The Philly hate is real. The Philly hate is absolutely real. And that was something that really annoyed me. I was all over social media yesterday, and the amount of media people either saying this Eagles team's great, and then the ones that say they're bad, they're overrated, they stink. Some of it's clickbait media. Some of it, people really believe the Eagles aren't a good team. A.J. Brown, well, I don't know if he's the best wide receiver in football. That would probably go to Justin Jefferson, who is going on IR. I would not be surprised for fantasy owners that if Justin Jefferson doesn't play the rest of the year. He's got a hammy issue. They're 1-4. He's going to miss 4 more weeks. That's week 9. If they're 2-7 at that point, Justin Jefferson's not playing. But A.J. Brown might be a top 5 wide receiver in the league. Very well can be. And he might be the MVP. K1, we have played bad O-lines and haven't had the sack production we expected. Exactly. They won't give us our flowers. No one gives us our flowers. And we say we don't care, but we do care. We do want some respect on this team. But Wilson is the worst quarterback we have played. Is he? I don't know. Who's worse, Zach Wilson or Mac Jones? Because they both suck. They're both really bad. Going to do anything to win, but was a fractional leader in that sense. Okay, AI. Okay, gotcha. AI was going to do anything to win, but he wasn't a fractional leader in every sense that Jalen is. Absolutely agree with you on that. Except expect sacks aplenty. How? Why? We haven't gotten sacks aplenty yet this year. We've played a lot of bad offensive lines, and we're never getting the sacks. So I got you. Don't worry. I'm behind on comments, but I got you. Gonna be rainy on Sunday in East Rutherford. Turners of our concern. The great equalizer. It's going to be a rainy weekend, yeah. But we've got a fantastic rushing attack. And we have a great, fantastic rushing defense, run-stopping defense. So if it's going to be a run-heavy game, a low-scoring game, we've got the edge without a shadow of a doubt. With the Dolphins coming, they could look ahead a little prematurely. They might be looking ahead, but I don't buy that Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni will let them look too far ahead. This team has been built around what's next. That's it. What do we have to do today? They're not even looking at Sunday. They're looking at today. How to get better today. I just think that the look ahead thing has been a problem in the past in Philadelphia sports, but with this current crop of leaders on this Eagles team, we don't have to worry about it as much. Do we have to worry about the Dolphins game? Absolutely. But I don't think we have to worry about this team doing that at all. Yo, Drew, what's happening, man? Hope you're doing well. Guys, let's make sure we're pounding that like button. We're up to 14 likes on YouTube, 5 on Facebook. Hit that share button, that subscribe and follow button, depending on where you're watching. It's free to do it, guys. Doesn't cost a penny. Devin Atchen out for several weeks. I did not see that one. I missed that one for sure. Don't underestimate the power of the AFC. Well, I'm not underestimating anybody. You underestimate a team or a player or a week, and you have something like last night against the Braves that happened with the Phillies. If you look ahead, we got this. We took game 1, and then you give all the momentum back. We're not going to do that with the Eagles. What's going on with your camera, bro? I have no idea. That happened twice. It looks like it's leveled out now. I don't know if it's the camera. It could be the streaming app. No clue. This is a brand new laptop. The camera should be fine. So I don't know what the deal is. Liam, I saw K1 making fun of Liam's beard on the show. I tuned in for 2 seconds to give him the like, to give him the view, and I saw K1 making fun of Liam's beard last night. Let's not make fun of facial hair. That's a new rule. The whole cornerback crew is downtrending. We can't or won't play man. Sorry. Yeah, look, I'm not ready to break down the pros and cons of the mistakes that Howie Roseman made or didn't make, but we might at some point this year or after the season's over have to think about did Howie Roseman make a mistake by giving extensions to Slay and James Bradbury. They're both north of 30. They're both really good cornerbacks. They were the best duo in the league last year, but they're not playing like it this year. Now, some of that could be because we're not getting the sacks. The defense works as a unit, not individually. When you have 70 sacks coming in, your cornerbacks are going to be looking great. When you don't have 70 sacks coming in, your cornerbacks could get exposed. So there's a little bit of that too. Maybe some of it's on the defensive line not getting home that's giving these cornerbacks some fits. It's also on the secondary. The reason the D line isn't getting sacks, one hand washes the other. It goes both ways. The secondary helps the line helps the secondary. It's just like the quarterback helps the offensive line, and the offensive line helps the quarterback. The wide receiver can help the quarterback. It's a team sport. It's not an individual. We're not talking tennis or golf here. It's a team sport. Stephen A. Smith hates Philly, but is quick to remind you he knows the city since he worked for the Inquirer. Yeah, exactly. I don't know. Stephen A. Smith, is he an Eagles fan? Is he a Cowboys fan? Is he a Giant? I don't know. Who does he support really? I don't know because he changes all the time. Best wide receiver in the league. He goes down your Patriots. The Cowgirls are overrated, but the media says they're going. Yeah, exactly. Look, dude, I just shared right before the show a video. Some barber in Dallas or Dallas Cowboys fan barber going and smashing his autograph picture of Dak Prescott, ripping it up. Dude, I hate that stuff. I hate it. I love it that it's happening to a Cowboys because, we all want the Cowboys to suffer and their fans to suffer. I hate when people destroy merchandise, memorabilia, jerseys. Like you spent a lot of money on that crap and then you're just going to tear it up. Are you stupid? Sell it. Give it away. No, I'll take it and sell it for you. Like idiotic. I hate it. LJ hates that patchwork he calls a beard. Guys, give Liam some credit, man. You know, guess he's only like 12. He can't grow all the facial hair like me. Guess we have to beat the Niners again to shut their mouths. I was looking, Devin, at some of the Niners stuff because everybody look, tomorrow's power ranking day. On this show, I'll go over my top 10 in the power rankings tomorrow. I've got a little idea how it's going to go, but whatever. But I was looking at the Niners, and look, everyone talking about the Eagles and who have they beat. Well, who have the 49ers beat? What quarterbacks have the 49ers? They've beaten Joshua Dobbs and the Cardinals. They beat Matthew Stafford barely and the Rams. They beat Kenny Pickett and the Steelers, who I know they're 3-2, but they're not that good. They're mid at best. Like the 49ers, they beat the Giants. I could beat the Giants. And then they smoked the Cowboys. Like it's not like the 49ers have gone out there and beat world beaters. Technically, we had 9 sacks in the past 2 games. Sacks ahoy. Yeah, I mean, but there's still a lot of almost sacks, a lot of missed sacks and stuff like that. I had better beard game at 15 than Liam has now. It's a sorry affair. I love it. I love that you guys give Liam a hard time. Respectfully, give him a hard time. Any concerns traveling across the country to play the Jets? Nah, not really. Um, no. They never care about being undefeated. All they care about is going 1-0 every week. Even AJ brought, yeah, absolutely. They're never looking past anybody. They're just trying to win this day and win this week. That's all that they care about in Philadelphia, and that's what I love. I love it. Do we see less Quez and more? No. Look, I don't know if you guys missed it, but there's a lot of we all say Quez is trending down. We don't love Quez. Peanut, thanks for checking in, my man. But the thing with Quez is that Nick Sirianni clearly spoke yesterday at his press conference because he was asked about Quez and the disparity between the amount of snaps he played versus OZ playing on Sunday. And he said it again for the 100th time. There's so much you don't see in the stat sheet that Quez Watkins does, stretching the field and making so like, dude, Nick Sirianni's feeding us this line of crap on Quez Watkins. And he's going to keep feeding us Quez Watkins every single week. Does he stretch the field? Sure. But it's not like you got to put more than one guy on him while he stretches. You don't have to leave a safety back to help because Quez Watkins isn't going to get the ball thrown his way anyway. So I don't know what the deal is with Quez Watkins, but he's the guy until they find somebody else. He is the guy. Um, in my Darth Vader voice, don't underestimate the power of the Jets. Yeah, I'm going to underestimate the Jets. The Jets are not a good football team, especially without Aaron Rodgers. His beard, ridiculous. He's a grown man. He's 12. At least he looks 12 to me. Um, he's doing it for a good cause, but still. Sean Desai started playing man or cover two. Our starting quarterbacks are too accomplished for me to think they won't turn it around. Yeah, it's not like they're playing bad. They're just not playing elite like last year, Marshawn. There's a difference between the way they played last year and the way they're playing this year. And it goes, there's a lot that goes into it. There goes my camera again. Like, I don't know what is going on here. What is K1 talking about? Liam is a grizzled Viking. I don't know what is going on. I hope you guys don't hate me for this. I don't know what this is. Don't even know what to click to look at it. Stephen A is from New York and he's a Steelers fan. That's explains a lot about Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith is from New York. I knew that. He worked in Philly. Yeah, but he's a Cowboys fan. He's a bandwagon jumper, for sure. Note to Phil: if your cornerback goes out to free agency and no crap team like Cowboys overpays him, your cornerback's getting washed. Yeah, I mean, saying they don't play man is accurate statement. I've seen man quite a few times and they got dusted. Yeah, I mean, James Bradbury played up on the line in the touchdown he gave up. Played semi press coverage. He didn't really jam the guy at the line. He got beat off the line, and it was decent coverage, but he got beat. Um, Dobbs is great as coach. Yeah, I don't know about that. What happened to the other Eagles jersey in the back? Seems to be missing. Lane Johnson, it is in the laundry pile. I brought it with me to Mexico for vacation, and I haven't got caught up on Mexico laundry yet, so it's still in the laundry pile. At some point, my Lane Johnson jersey will go back up. It's just a little dirty, stinky. Ozzy or Quez are really the fourth option. Goddard should be the third option. Yeah, and Dallas Goddard got involved, Marshawn, on Sunday, much better. But it came at the cost of Devontae Smith's targets. So, you know, I don't really care who's getting the ball and when, as long as we're winning. And I don't think this team cares about it either. We just need to lock in towards the red zone, and we're going to be a problem. Yeah, the red zone is definitely, and they've addressed it. And I know that's what Kelsey was upset about on Sunday. The red zone has scoring touchdowns in the red zone's been an issue, which is crazy because you got AJ Brown, you got Dallas Goddard, you got a great running attack, you got Jalen Hurts. How we get, dude? You get in the red zone, just run the tush push every damn play. It would be great. I would love to see the Eagles run the tush push for an entire 75-yard play drive. Just be like, you're going to ban it from us using it, so we're just going to push it for every single play for an entire drive, just to prove. Part of the reason our quarterbacks had the stats last year because our run game was sad. Um, I don't know, maybe. Uh, I'm underestimating the power of Zach Wilson. I am not. Um, the light setting in my adjustments, I'll do that after the show. You guys have to put up with it. I don't like changing things mid-show, but I will look at that. Thank you to Edge of Philly for that. Never had that happen before. So I don't like. I've never had to even look into that, but I will look at the light adjustments after the show. Look, back to this comment from Freddie Defo. I love you, man. Thanks for coming in today. Zach Wilson's not it, man. Um, he's just not. I do not fear Zach Wilson at all, but he can complete passes. He can throw the ball. You got to get pressure on him. It's going to be a sloppy, bad weather game probably. Their run game is not that good. Their offensive line is terrible. I mean, in a perfect neutral like weather kind of situation, the Eagles should blow the Jets out of the water. I know the Jets defense is good, but it shouldn't be an issue for our offense. But, I'm not underestimating them. The defense blitzed the Rams a lot more than I remember them ever doing. Am I wrong? I don't know. Maybe. Not wrong. Maybe you're right on that. Not positive, but maybe. Take your laptop back. Well, I think it's past that. I mean, it's newer. It's not brand new. It's like 6 months new. Um, but yeah, it's probably a setting thing. Something that got bumped. Something got changed. Who knows? Bradbury's coverage on Puka was solid. Better throw and catch. It was solid. It wasn't great. There was separation. Not a lot, but there was separation. When you play up on the line of scrimmage, you got to get your hand up. Bradbury did. Puka snap ran right past him. If Bradbury just gets his hand and jams him at the line of scrimmage there, throws him off his route a little bit, slows him down a little bit, that play doesn't happen. So you all want press coverage all the time and playing up on the line. Well, if you don't actually jam them at the line, there is no point about it. Because the wide receiver will always have the advantage on the cornerback on a press coverage if you do not jam them on the line of scrimmage. It's just the way I see it. Scrub the hard disk first. You're a funny guy. Funny like a clown. You can tell Quez is hurting. He doesn't know what to do. Oh my God. Wow. Wow. It's such a good thing that I clicked the no, this show is not for children when I set the YouTube studio up. I love it. I'm still not over the Quez Watkins screen that didn't get a first down. And I saw somebody showing a highlight or showing a clip of that play, and I didn't even notice when the play happened until I saw the replay on Twitter yesterday that A.J. Brown threw his hands up in the air like, what the hell are you doing? A.J. Brown never blocks, and A.J. Brown got a great block and gave him room to get the first, and he didn't get it. Like, how Nick Sirianni can stand up for Quez after that, I have no idea. Have you tried plugging it out? Plugging what out? I'm not unplugging and touching anything. Mid-show, I don't touch anything. After the show, I will look at everything. After that, it's definitely getting banned. Yeah, maybe. Milk Hunter will do what Dude, we're getting out of control here today. It's too early in the morning for this. Bradbury's not really a press DB. He and Slay technique has been all over the place. Absolutely agree with that, Drew. 110%. Brees Hall is legit. I mean, I thought he was going to be legit. Is he legit? I don't know. They just don't run the ball very well. Plus, they split carries with Dalvin Cook, and they got what's the other? Michael Carter. I want to say Michael Carter Williams there, former Sixer, MCW. But whatever, I don't know. Maybe Brees Hall would have been legit if Aaron Rodgers was still the quarterback. All right, what do we got here? Keeping catching up here. Quez Watkins looked scary on that wide receiver. They're scared, it should say. He doesn't want the smoke. No, I don't think he does. He didn't want to get hit. He didn't know what to do. He looked hesitant, and it was a big moment in the game that could have swung the That's the whole thing of this show. Momentum. We talked about Phillies losing momentum. Well, the Eagles could have lost momentum there. We'll start down. They had a punt, whatever. Or maybe he just doesn't have any field vision and can't read blocks. Well, if that's the case, then that's a problem. That's a coaching problem. That's a player problem. That's a personnel problem. You can't have your third wide receiver running bubble screens, and if he can't read it, you just can't do it. I hate the wide receiver bubble. Can we just not do the wide receiver tight end bubble screen anymore? If you're going to run a screen, can I get, please, a DeAndre Swift or Kenneth Gainwell screen pass with Jordan Mailata and Jason Kelsey or Lane Johnson out there blocking for him? Please? Can we please do that? I mean, I'm tired of this other stuff. Give me a real screen pass. Puka was one of the fastest wide receivers in the draft this year. Okay. So he got separation. But if James Bradbury just gets one hand on him off the line of scrimmage, it changes the whole play. That's what you do. You get a hand up. You jam him. Changes the whole route. Changes the whole play. Yeah, I know. Duck was really, really pushing it, but I love it. I love it. Made me laugh. I don't laugh very often, and I'm laughing. Yeah. Phil, if you haven't moved on from Quez, you'll never get over game 2. I'm not over game 2 of that Phillies game. Not at all. I've moved on to talking to Eagles because I didn't want you guys to all cry about me talking Phillies all day. But I'm not getting over the Phillies losing game 2. I'm still not over the Sixers losing game 2 to the Celtics because it was the same scenario. It is what it is, but I'm not over it. I don't get over things like that. Laptop is mid. Well, if you want to buy me a high-end laptop, spend $5,000, go for it. You want all this extra time, that's what it is. Brown and Smitty both threw up their hands. I didn't see the Brown one originally because he was kind of out of the camera angle, Drew, by the time the play ended. But, it's not good. Not good when they're doing that because they say it. Candlelight trending in the AM on Wednesday. Look, it happens. I don't know what it is. It happened twice. Thanks to Edge of Philly, I got something to look at. Light adjustments that I got to turn off, whatever. A new light bulb here wouldn't hurt. This little yellow covering up here, I don't know. Whatever. It is what it is. Imagine being Dalvin Cook, waiting to sign with a contender, only for Rodgers to get hurt. Just could you imagine? Like, I'll backtrack that a little bit, Marshawn. Could you imagine being a Jets fan and be like, "Oh, we got Aaron Rodgers. We're turning this thing around instantly. Let's buy season tickets." Ah, crap. 4 plays in the season, he's gone. Could you imagine that? Like, that just changed the whole perception of the franchise, and then 4 plays in, changed it again. It's sad, man. It's sad. It sucks. Quez has a reputation of being soft. What team will pick him up when we dump him after this season? I don't know if we'll dump him per se, but yeah, I mean, look. I mean, Quez really been, what was he, a 6th-round draft pick? Has he really been that bad for a 6th-round draft pick? He's made some mistakes, sure. He's made some plays, sure. I mean, how many 6th-round wide receivers really become superstars in the league? Probably not many. Phil is impervious to the Kubler-Ross process. I won't lie, K1, I have no clue what that means. No clue at all. Game 2 really getting to Phil. He extra spicy did. I am pissed off. I don't buy that a split on the road in a best of anything series is acceptable when you take game 1 as the road team, unless you just get smoked in game 2. When you blow a game like the Sixers did in the playoffs and like the Phillies did last night, the way they were blown, you don't just get over it. It's unacceptable. And everybody's saying, it's okay. No big deal. We got the split. We got the split and have 0 momentum. Now, we have our home crowd. We've got a lot of things working in our favor, but I'm not happy. I am not happy about last night at all. Bradbury had good coverage. Matthew Stafford threw a dart, a dot. Not many quarterbacks can make that throw. Look, I'm not taking anything away from Matthew Stafford. I'm not taking anything away from the catch from Puka. I'm not. But James Bradbury, hand up, jam that wide receiver at the line. Basic, very, very basic technique. Is Quez worse than Reagor or Aguilar? No, he's not worse than Reagor. Look, Nelson Aguilar, Adam, I ain't gonna lie. I think Nelson Aguilar is a much better wide receiver in Philadelphia Eagles history and lore than he's given credit for. He was actually really solid, and he was a huge part of winning the Super Bowl. So Nelson Aguilar, to me, he's cool. I'm good with him. He's still playing in the league. He's not catching much, but he's still playing. He's still out there. Jalen Reagor's possibly the worst. But again, remember, Nelson Aguilar and Jalen Reagor, they were 1st-round wide receiver draft picks. Quez Watkins was drafted in the 6th round. Jonathan Hightower, I don't even know if he's in the league anymore. I don't even know if he's on a practice squad. He might be in the USFL. Maybe Mad Chatter can look that one up. Getting what we've gotten out of Quez Watkins as a 6th-round pick, when we took another wide receiver the round sooner in Jonathan Hightower, even less. So, look, is Quez Watkins great? No. Is Quez Watkins a problem? Yes. But you could do worse. When you've got A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and Dallas Goedert, you don't need much better than Quez Watkins. Unless somebody gets hurt. Imagine investing in a Hall of Fame quarterback and he takes a massive pay cut only to not invest in the O-line. I mean, look around the NFL. How many quarterbacks have potential to be great? That's why what Howie Roseman does here in Philly for a long time. The Philadelphia Eagles organization since Andy Reid started here has been about building the interior line, offense and defense, and then build out. You build your offensive line, your defensive line, then you get your quarterback, then you get your linebackers and safeties and corner and whatnot. That's how you build a successful long-term franchise, by building the interior, protecting your quarterback, getting pressure on the other team's quarterback. That's how you do it. Rodgers is a weirdo, but he works hard and doing rehab like a monster. Yeah, I heard he's doing like experimental treatments to come back. Yeah, he's a weirdo, and I hate him going on the Pat McAfee show all the time and all that stuff. He's a nincompoop. I can't stand him, but he's a really great quarterback, one of the best of all time, and he's working hard to come back. Could you imagine? Zach Wilson turns it around, leads this Jets team to the playoffs, and then the second round of the playoffs, I'm good to go, and then they bench Zach Wilson for Aaron Rodgers. Man, I'd be pissed. I'd be so pissed. It won't happen, but I'd be pissed. Describes the stages of grief. Okay, I'll have to look it up. I have no idea. I'll write it down. Kubler Ross. I have no idea what that is, but I'll look it up. We know Phil stays in the anger stage. I'm never angry. Like, I'm really not. I'm a very positive person. Like, I really am. I just don't. I'm just not happy with the way the Phillies went. Sanders is soft and known for running out of bounds. The Panthers still paid him. It's a fair point. It's a fair point. Sixers lost like 3 in a row in the playoffs. Look, it's a fair comparison, I think, to what happened with the Celtics and the Sixers to the Phillies Braves. I hope it has a different result. I hope the Phillies can overcome it and not blow games 6 and 7 like the Sixers did with James Harden and Joel Embiid coming up small. Denial, anger, bargaining, grief, acceptance. Do you want me to have acceptance for losses? Do you want me to have acceptance for poor performances? I don't. I don't like to accept poor performances. Aguilar issues was when he was forced to be other than the third option. Yeah, Nelson Aguilar in 2017 was great. I mean, who remembers that guy that said, "I can catching babies out of a burning building," and he made a Nelson Aguilar reference. Like, I still remember that about Nelson Aguilar. But Aguilar was a really good wide receiver. Probably not a first round talent. And if he was in the second or third round, we would have loved him. Aguilar balled out in the Super Bowl. Quez dropped the momentum-changing pass in the Super Bowl. Let that sink in before the fan base clowns Aguilar. Absolutely spot on. Spot on here, Marshawn, without a shadow of a doubt. Look up who? Nigel Bradham. He was a linebacker. He was all right. Chip tried to make Josh Huff a thing. Was that a Chip thing? I just remember Josh Huff and Jeremy Bloom. Guys trying to make, the Eagles trying to make both those guys a thing. And both were what is up, Eric? How you doing this morning? 5-0, baby. That is right. What do we got here? Momentum shifted after that loss, but they had to know the Braves weren't just going to give it up. Absolutely. And they can hit homers. Like, absolutely. Got to keep straight heads. Absolutely. And feed off that bang. Everything you say here, Freddie, is absolutely accurate. But the thing I'm going to say is, if we weren't up 4-0 going into the 7th inning, I would have a different perspective on it. If they would have just outslugged us throughout the whole game, sure, I'd be okay with it. But you had a lead, and you had momentum, and you had the Braves second guessing everything they've done, and then you let them right back into it. And that's the thing. That's the way you did it, by making a bad pitching decision with Rob Thomson, 2 of them, by making 2 key errors by Trey Turner, who's been atrocious in the field. Bryce Harper, he's going to get praised for being aggressive. Well, in the 9th inning, when you're down a run, you can't be that aggressive. You've got to know the moment of the game and when to dial back the aggression, Freddie. And Bryce Harper is going to be praised for his aggression all week, all day. I'm not happy with it. You got to know the moment. It is what it is, though. And it's not an over series. The series is not by a long shot over. Rodgers smokes weed. He does something more than weed. I would. What do you do on a darkness retreat, man, Chatter? I'm not sure. There are tons of teams that don't invest in the trenches. Giants rebuild will fall because they didn't invest. Absolutely. You paid Daniel Jones. Imagine paying Daniel Jones $160 million and then paying $16 or going to the Dollar Tree to get your offensive line. I mean, basically, that's what they did. It says Hightower got cut by the Chargers. Yeah, like the guy drafted ahead of Quez Watkins by the Eagles isn't even in the league anymore. So let's like, yeah, we can crush Quez. He's made big mistakes at big moments, but he's a 6th-round wide receiver, and he's serviceable. Should he be the 4th, not the 3rd? Sure, but when you've got AJ Brown, when you've got Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, Quez is a serviceable 3rd wide receiver. Rodgers does look like he smokes. Yeah, of course he does. Are we questioning that at all? Phil is in denial right now. Oh, and not best. Davis is fine. Yep, that's denial. I'm not denying anything, man. Point is, Phil right. You can't be okay with one loss. Yeah, it's you could be okay in a best of 5 or best of 7 series with a loss, but it's how the losses happen. Like if the Eagles will lose this week to the Jets, how do they lose? Why do they lose? And that's the thing with the Phillies. It's how and why did they lose last night? And that is what pisses me off. That's right. Core 12. Smash that like button. We're almost in. We'll use this. It's almost 9. I like to do a reset at 9 a.m. It's 8:56 in the morning here. You're watching Trending in the AM. I am your host, Phil Stiefel. Make sure you hit that like button. 17 likes on YouTube, 7 on Facebook. Like, shares, subscribes, follows are free to do. Doesn't cost a penny, and it helps grow the algorithm and this great morning show, or what I feel is a great morning show. So I greatly appreciate that. We're talking Eagles being 5-0. We're talking Phillies blowing it last night. Yes, because they blew it last night. We're talking all that. Whatever else you want to talk about, right here today, Trending the AM. We're live every day, 8 a.m. this week, 8:15 sometimes. I almost went to 8:15 today to start. I needed a little bit extra sleep, but whatever. It's all good. We're talking weed. We're talking anger and denial. We're talking so much right now on the show. Phil still hasn't gotten over the Finkel kick. Laces out. Well, Laces got to be out. What do you expect out of me? I'm not angry. I'm never angry. I'm never angry. I'm not. I'm defensive sometimes, but I'm never angry. Anger's a bad trait to have. Life's too short to be angry. It really is. It really is. Up 4-0. Ouch. Up 4-0 in the 7th inning. That's the thing. Phil did him like a demo. Thought it was out the window. Remember Travis Fulgham? I got smoked for my Travis Fulgham opinions. I told everybody Travis Fulgham was going to be a bust, and he was nothing. Remember, he played for Aaron Rodgers before he played for the Eagles, and Aaron Rodgers couldn't get anything out of him. I did sell a lot of Travis Fulgham T-shirts. I came up with a Travis Fulgham, Carson Wentz, 20 whatever, election type style shirt. I sold a whole bunch of them. But I never believed a second that Travis Fulgham was the real deal. Not 1 second, Eric. And I'm so proud of myself. Pat on the back, Thomas Shampo style. That I was right on that one. I still think Howie bamboozled Panthers. Well, he didn't do anything with the Panthers. He didn't trade Miles Sanders to the Panthers. The Panthers just signed him. I'm not denying anything. I'm denying that I'm not an angry person. Without a doubt. Phil, what's good? I hope you're having an awesome Tuesday. Well, Tuesday is just getting started. It's only 9 a.m. reality check. I hope you're going to have a great day. I'm going to have a great day. We're all going to have a great day because every day is a great day. And I'm always in a good mood. I'm never angry, sometimes in denial, but never angry. Aaron Rodgers is a spoiled brat and a diva. He probably kisses himself when he looks at a. Oh man, you can crush Aaron Rodgers all you want in the comment section. I love it. Making fun of Aaron Rodgers is something that brings me great joy. How can a quarterback? Because I always feel Aaron Rodgers is one of the most talented quarterbacks I've ever watched play football, and he's got 1 Super Bowl. He's only played in 2, I think. I mean, how a guy that good, and he's had talent. He had Devontae Adams. He's had talent. How does he only play in win 1 Super Bowl in his career? Like it bothers me so much, and I just his personality just rubs me the wrong way. And I said it. The Jets were making a mistake. I didn't think they were making a mistake because he was going to get hurt on the 4th play, but at least I was right that they made a mistake. You'll get there. You're gonna try to get me angry. It's not gonna happen. Howie bamboozled the Saints. Oh my God, the gift that keep we Howie Roseman bamboozles a lot of people. Oh, thank you, Adam. Phil's a cool guy. Just visit the shop. He's calm and cool. I try to stay. I run a restaurant every day. If that doesn't stress me out or make me angry, I don't know what will. Maybe it makes me a little depressed and sad some days, but angry, no. Um, this has been an adult show. Um, it has been. I'm going to have to probably check the YouTube studio in a few hours because I'm sure it's getting dinged, and I'm going to have to fight those dings for sure. Um, Travis Fulgham's ego was bigger than his talent, absolutely. Even before he came to Philly, he had 3 weeks of great production and acted like he was the king of. Man, look at the jokes flying in today, man. You guys are some funny bleepers. Yeah, we'll just say that today. Better question: how does Eli Manning have two Super Bowls? Well, oh man, I mean, it's a really fair question. How does Aaron Rodgers have one and Eli Manning has two? Totally different level of quarterback play, but it is what it is. Every day is adult themed. Well, this is an adult show. I mean, kids can watch the show, I guess, at your parents' discretion. We'll teach you all about the birds and the bees. All we need is Dan Sileo. The deal is still there, Dan Sileo. You are welcome to come on this show and spew some of that Jalen Hurts hate if you want right next to me here on the screen, and I will shut you down. Although I do think I saw somebody tweet out that Dan Sileo said something nice about Jalen Hurts yesterday. I mean, I don't believe it. I wouldn't click on it to find out, but I kind of feel like I heard or saw or read something that Dan Sileo said something nice. I can't believe it. That doesn't happen very often, so I'm not really sure. Only a few quarterbacks took so great to have two Super Bowls. That's a fair point. There's not that many quarterbacks that get multiple Super Bowls at all. So the an- the answer to my question, NFL is rigged, and the script was written by is Peyton. Peyton Manning wrote the script. I don't know about that, but I love the scripted NFL thing. I think it's so funny. Um, are games possibly slightly rigged in the sense where they might tell a ref to play one way or another? Absolutely. But totally rigged? I don't know about that. Because Eli is a team player and not a stat whore like Rodgers, who only cares for individual success rather than team success. That's why Eli has two and Rodgers has one. Well, I was going to say Rodgers only has one because he had Mike McCarthy as his coach for most of his career. And look what Mike McCarthy's doing in Dallas. Nothing. Dallas's failures are because of Jerry Jones, Dak Prescott, but also Mike McCarthy. So that goes into it too. Tom Coughlin, who coached the Giants during that run, hard-nosed coach, didn't accept failure, didn't accept putting yourself above the team. Hell, remember when he blew up on the punter for punting to Deshaun Jackson when he clearly said not to? And that was one of the miracle at the Meadowlands. Tom Coughlin was a disciplinarian. Mike McCarthy, not so much. How else can you explain the lesser brother gets two Super Bowls also? I don't know. I don't know. There's something weird, something going on there. It's weird. Peyton or Peyton? I don't know. Peyton or Peyton? It's all the same, right? Same difference. They are steered. They pushed Brady. Look, it is what it is, guys. I don't know where we went off track with this conversation today. I don't know. I'm not even sure where to go with the rest of the conversation for the next 25 minutes because you guys have thrown me so off pace here. The whole universe is rigged. We're living in the matrix. You know, sometimes I kind of feel that way. I kind of feel like the world's against me sometimes. The camera on the screen is against me sometimes. I know that. Um, oh man, that shot of Coughlin on the sideline during the DJ. Absolutely. If you're willing to get in the face of your punter, you know, sorry, I can't talk. I saw Duck's comment come in on the screen a few clicks below. I'm just like, oh man, that again. I don't even want to put it up on the screen again. Oh man, um, you got to have a coach that's willing to get in the face of anybody, without a shadow of a doubt. And that's the thing with Nick Sirianni. I think that's where we originally were here. When we started talking Eagles was about Nick Sirianni and how He's the psychiatrist, Devontae Smith. He's the cheerleader for Hassan Reddick. He's the disciplinarian when Jalen Hurts screws up. He's the mediator when Kelsey's fired up. You got to have a great coach that knows the pulse of the team, without a doubt. Mike McCarthy doesn't know the pulse of his Cowboys team at all. Peyton's second Super Bowl is the proof you need. Yeah, that was like with the Broncos. He didn't even play well. Sorry, we went off track. Yeah, there it is. Sorry, not sorry. You're sorry. Not at all. I feel games are rigged now only in final score outcomes. I believe the NFL is rigged for money. It's the gambling thing. It was so funny because I think it was yesterday when I was watching the Phillies game and a commercial came on for a sports bet or one of the betting sites. Even my wife noticed and said something. She's like, "Man, is every other commercial a betting commercial?" I'm like, "That's the way of the world. Sports, man. It's a gambling world." And I know when Mark's on this show with me, Mark Muscatelli, he always talks about how bad it was that these leagues got in bed with the gambling sites. Look, there's money to be made on gambling for the leagues and these sites, and they're going to do whatever they can to get their piece of the pie. It's just the way it is. But I think it's fair that to say that maybe covering the spread or not covering the spread, it is not rigged because it's almost impossible to rig a sport, but you can influence. Look, the NFL is influencing the refs how they call the tush push. Look at it. Call a flag as much as you can on it. Try your best to stop it because we don't like it. So they do influence how the refs call games in all sports. And then, of course, you've got the gambling aspect of it that, if you don't think Tim Donaghy's type stuff in the NBA happens across all sports every week, you're kidding yourself. We see players getting busted in the NFL for gambling. It happens probably every single week. It's just not caught because it's not hard to cheat the system. It's not. Getting burner phones, having friends place your bets for you. It's easy to do. And it happens on a weekly basis in the NFL, and it happens daily in all sports. Keys to the Phillies. We'll get into game 3 tomorrow. Discuss the Giants' collapse. No. Put it up there, Phil. Put what up there? I don't even know what you're looking for. Dabble can't even look at Jones. And man, I would be so pissed if I was Brian Dabble and I come over from Buffalo and I'm told you're the future of this team as the coach. You're going to lead this team to a new culture and organizational philosophy. And then they give him Daniel Jones at $160 million. Like seriously, that's it. Oh, put it up there, Phil. I did put it up there. Are you talking about the sorry duck, the duck comment? I did. I did put it up there. It's easy. The New York Giants front office aren't good. I thought they were doing better when they got rid of Gettleman, but that obviously was not the case when they gave Daniel Jones that contract, without a doubt. I remember I was in your pizza shop when Deshaun Jackson ran that kick back. Where are you? I don't even remember where. I guess I was in the pizza shop too, Adam. I don't remember where I was at that moment. I don't remember where I was yesterday at the pizza shop, maybe, but that's about it. That's because everyone knows that most people are gambling degenerates. Hell, yeah, I am. I love the gamble. Who doesn't love the thrill of a gamble? Now, I'm smart enough not to risk more than I can, afford. I'm a baby better, like I like to call it. $5 here, $3 there, just for the thrill. But man, there's so much money to be made in gambling in the NFL, NBA, MLB, all of it. It's so funny when you watch announcers like in baseball, Tom McCarthy, Phillies announcer. Love Tom McCarthy. He's such an underrated Phillies announcer. Um, but when he's got to read, gambling ads, on the air, and he's got to talk about, and he sounds like he has no clue what he's talking about, but he's reading it straight from the thing. It sounds so awkward when he's got to promote it and stuff like that. It's hilarious to me. No, the Giants' downfall is Mara. That is why they're in trouble right now because Mara has always called the shots. Ask any Giants fan. I wouldn't know that personally. I don't follow it that closely, reality check, but could be right. Could be right. What would have been so bad if you say Kyler Murray or Daniel Jones, we're going to pay you each year until we are sure? Um, Kyler Murray, man, the rumors are the Cardinals are done with him. Um, I've been against Kyler Murray since the day he came to the league, said he wasn't that good. I might be right on that, without a doubt. There's a very good chance. The hell it is. And basketball games are rigged all the time. See, the word is like I don't like the word rigged, K1. Influenced, okay? Because I think they're influenced. Calling a foul, a ticky tack foul here or there, you know, making a call on a play that can't be overturned because of out of challenges or whatever. They're influenced, not rigged. It's not like you go into the game knowing who's going to win or lose, but you know how you can influence a game for any reason, gambling reasons. The NFL saying, "I don't like a play." You can influence a game, but you can't rig it. Once billions are involved, man, chatter. Absolutely. That's the comment from you of the week for sure, without a doubt. We are offsides on almost every tush push, says the NFL refs, and the other team isn't. Exact. Point being, you know that's where it comes into the influencing. Question is, can our defense stop the tush push, or they have something to combat it? That's an interesting question, Marshawn, and I think we've built the type of defense that could stop the tush push. All you got to do is have Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis line up over center, and there ain't no way that any other team's offensive line, now our offensive line versus our defensive line, that would be the question. That would be tough. But I love to see the Jets try to run the tush push against us with Zach Wilson on Sunday. You're telling me that hell no. There's no way they'd be successful at it. It takes a special type of offense and defensive line to make it work and not make it work. I know. Check out the brotherly shove. The defense is always in the neutral zone. Absolutely. And it's the tush push, not the brotherly shove. I don't know why, but I'm anti brotherly shove. I want it to be called the tush push. That's just me. Um, Dunahee was just a sacrificial lamb. Yeah, Cardinal O'Hara kid. That was my old stomping grounds. Um, Dude, I've said it before. If you haven't watched the Netflix documentary on that whole situation, the Dunahee situation, I highly recommend it. Very, very interesting to listen to it and listen to some of the words from some of the bookies and some of the other people involved. Um, Man, it happens all the time. And he said it's not that they fix the games, they just influence them. Foul here, a foul there, foul trouble here, foul trouble there. Momentum swings and stuff like that. It's influencing. It's not rigging. There's a difference in that word there. Phil, have you ever a eagle? I don't met an eagle player. Probably. I don't know. Boxing 100. Probably. Yeah. I haven't been involved in watching or cheering on boxing in a long time. My dad was a huge boxing fan. He used to get all the Mike Tyson pay-per-views back in the day. I still remember him cursing out the TV screen when Buster Douglas uh, beat Mike Tyson. He had even recorded it um, on his and the pre-recording, like the intro to the show was longer than the fight itself. Um, Phil, if you kind of look other way on Chiefs penalties, we could make billions. Phil, be like that. Look, I get what you're saying, and it's true. It's influencing. Only way to make real money in gambling is to pick an upset every week. One thing is for sure, there will be an upset. Look, in the end, the books always win. It's the way it is. Look, Drew's commenting now, and Drew's a big boxing guy. Drew, if you're still watching, back to this comment from K1 here. Boxing is 100% fixed. I know you love your boxing. Comment on that, Drew. But he says, I think the way our defensive coordinator called the coverage in the second half needs to call it that way going forward. And you're right on that, without a doubt. Daniel Jones isn't worth the money the New York Giants paying him. They knew that when they put pen to paper on his new contract. They could have easily gotten exact. Yeah, you you hear people saying Dallas needs to move on from Dak. Well, you're really going to find someone better than Dak. Well, the question is, if you're going to move on, you know, it's money versus moving on versus the other options. It's about selling it to your fan base. I don't think the Giants would have had a problem selling to their fan base moving on from Daniel Jones. If anything, they pissed off their fan base massively there with that. Rex Ryan and a member of the U.S. rugby team have said, get bigger defensive linemen. And that's the thing. We've talked about this before, that the NFL, went away from old school nose tackles. Who's the Vince Wilforks of the world and stuff like. There's only so many Jordan Davises out there anymore, because that's everybody wants the next Aaron Donald, an athletic defensive tackle. Well, in the tush push, that doesn't work. So, you're going to slowly see, not just because of the tush push, but you're going to slowly see the nose tackle become a position of need again in the NFL. The butt crack snap rolls off the tongue. The Not the tush push, not the brotherly shove. The butt crack snap. The butt crack snap. I got to write that down, Peanut. The butt crack snap. I smell a T-shirt coming on that, for sure. Do I get 10% for saying it should be a T-shirt? The reason the tush push works is because Hurts can bench 600 pounds, and that's a huge part of it, Duck. Huge part of it. Also, if you look, our offensive line gets the leverage on the opponent defensive line every single time, and that's a big part of it too. Um, it's leverage and 600-pound squats. That's it. That's what it is. Bookies, they're weird fellas. They bust my look. I've had problems with bookies in the past before it was legal to gamble. We're not going to get into all that. Fell behind on his vig. Yeah, he did. He felt his envelope was a little light a few weeks in a row. The team sports are much harder to fix unless you pay off most of the players on the field. With what they're getting paid, it's less likely. Yeah, this is not 1918 where the Black Sox are pissed at the owner Comiskey of the White Sox and are throwing the World Series. It's not like that anymore. You could say it's fixed. It's an opinion. So, Drew does not believe that the sport's fixed then. Okay. I mean, I know you watch a lot of boxing. I know you talk about on your podcast. Dallas is different. They have enough talent to be in the playoffs conversation. Exactly. You can't sell moving on from Dak. Well, you could probably right now. Sell moving on from Dak. And there are plenty of Dallas Cowboys fans calling for Trey Lance right now, which is insanity. My uncle told me he gave up after the Michael Spinks Larry Holmes fight in the 80s. Spinks never laid a hand on him and still won a unanimous decision. I remember reading about that a little bit, K1. I don't remember the details of it, but possibly. Philly Irish. It's Philly Drew. Phil is writing down the butt crack. I think the butt crack snap is hilarious. I really do. Boxing is an art form. You have to appreciate intricacies instead of the brutality to really enjoy it. Most fans just want a knockout. I think that's a fair comment. I think the rise of the UFC and MMA, especially in like the Chuck Liddell, Forrest Griffin, Anderson Silva, that era, Shogun Rua, that era of UFC kind of stole a lot of that's when I watched Forrest Griffin versus Stephan Bonner, the Ultimate Fighter 1 finale. When I watched that fight, I became a UFC fan, and I stopped watching boxing. That was the end of boxing for me. Now I don't watch UFC as much as I used to now, because there are no like Chuck Liddell versus the Huntington Beach Bad Boy. There were nicknames, there were rivalries, there were people that wanted to take each other's heads off. Now there's too much hugging and kissing before and after every fight. There's no rivalry. There was a little bit of WWE wrestling in UFC for a while. Now, outside of Conor McGregor, there's no personality to root for or against. But the UFC's rise in that era kind of stole a lot of boxing fans. And there's a whole generation of people now that are grown up that don't understand boxing because of UFC. And their UFC is a little bit more entertaining than a regular boxing match at this point. Mister, if Crawford Charlo fight happens, who you got? I don't even know who Crawford is. Phil, you should put all the name for the Philly scrum and scratch them out with the butt crack snap as the last one, not scratched out. Yeah, something like that. I'm gonna run a poll. Which one should it be? And we'll see. I'm gonna write them. I'm gonna do a poll today on Twitter, on these names: the tush push, brotherly scrub, brotherly shove, Philly scrum, butt crack snap, and we're gonna see which one wins on Twitter. And Peanut, you can mention it on your show, the Twitter results. The count was too fast in Tyson Douglas, my dad said. I don't know, maybe. I'm UFC all day, man. Lots of up and comers. Sugar versus Sean O'Malley. Pat. Yeah, sure, absolutely. There's a lot of great fighters. Occasionally, I'm not going out and buying UFC pay-per-views anymore. Though I've lost that part of my interest in the UFC. That I'm not like just on it nonstop. But back in the day, I remember, when Brock Lesnar came out and was kicking ass for like two fights. Even after the initial boom in UFC, you had so many great fighters. Now there's just I almost think that there's too much. Maybe that's the problem. You've got pay-per-views like every other day. You've got TV version pay-per-view, like fight nights on ESPN or whoever has the rights right now to it. You've got literally like 7 or 8 shows a week of fights, and it's just too much. And you got more divisions now. You got more companies, and there's just no rivalries. And like you knock out your opponent, then you hug them and kiss them after. Like, oh, I want you to hate the guy. I want you to want to tear their head off. Butt scratch fever. Yeah, it's gonna carry. It's gonna grow. The Army taught us grappling and jiu-jitsu. They call it hand-to-hand combat. I've always wanted to learn jiu-jitsu. I really have. I've never done it, but I really have. Um, Wanted to. I love the art of jiu-jitsu. Today is Bogo Buffalo. Dude, get that crap out of here. Oh crap! Better not piss off Mista. Yeah. I think the Eagles are slowly bringing the whole playbook out now that they're 5-0. That's scary. Yeah, let's get this back. We got 10 minutes of this show. Let's get back on track with Eagles talk. I agree. I saw somebody tweet, and this is something we could talk about tomorrow. Brian Johnson and Sean Desai more comfortable. They, as they've been getting more comfortable, you're starting to see some more things, more wrinkles in the playbook, offensively and defensively. Now we know Sean Desai is a great adjuster at halftime, but Brian Johnson's making adjustments too. And I think Brian Johnson, we crapped on him at first, but kind of like, he's kind of getting his rhythm a little bit. And we're seeing that. And we need this. We got one more week to tinker against the Jets. Because once week 7 starts and we go into our tough stretch of games, starting with the Dolphins, I think the Dolphins game is Sunday Night Football, which I hate. You're just so you know, week 7 Sunday Night Football, Eagles, Monday morning victory. When we talk about it, I'm gonna be dragging because I'm gonna be exhausted from staying up late watching that football game, without a doubt. Friday night, fight night Friday was always good to get a novice into watching because it was free early on. Yeah, absolutely. Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. I love to learn it, Nick. Would love to learn how to do some of that. Um, can Phil get out of the hold? I not now. I know nothing about it. I only know how to fight one way, Ric Flair style. I'm the dirtiest player in the game. I've been in fights. I've been beat up, and I've won fights before. Um, but I only win because I'm the dirtiest player in the game. I have no problem going for the low blow, or an eye gouge or anything like that. Speaking of comfort, the Braves will not be comfortable tomorrow at the bank. That's right. Bringing the whole show, 90 minutes of show, full circle. Um, I'm over. I'm already over the loss now. Now I start the show pissed off at the loss. I'm over it. The bank tomorrow. If somebody wants to DM me a ticket to the game, I'll go. Brian Johnson is getting to that same point Steichen did at roughly the same time. Yeah, it takes some time to get used to it. Yeah, I think you guys might be onto something. Um, you might be onto something for sure. There's definitely a different vibe there. Professor yells if I punch. Do you mean Canelo Crawford? Because Crawford could destroy Charlo. Yeah, I don't know. You guys are talking way too much Chinese to me with the boxing talk. It takes time to get comfortable in the new job before putting your fingerprint on it. I agree. For sure. For sure. I will be at the Dolphins game. Good for you, Adam. I'm happy for you. I won't be. Did I sound a little jealous there? Maybe a little bit. Dude, if I went to that Dolphins game, there would be no trending in the AM the next morning. So I wouldn't be waking up. Can we get a round of applause for Taylor Swift? No, not at all. The pass protection has improved dramatically. Would you believe? You protect your quarterback, and then all of a sudden he gets comfortable. I mean, it sounds so basic. Um, Block TMC. I might have to block TMC. I might have to block you too, K1. No, I'm just kidding with you guys. I would never block you guys. Mr. I agree. Crawford would destroy Canelo, but it's a great tune-up for Canelo. Okay. Again, too much boxing talk. Hurts is now changing the play at the line when he has to evolve year after year. Look, Jalen Hurts is the man. Jalen Hurts is the MVP, and he's getting comfortable. Him and Brian Johnson are getting into a groove with what they're doing, and I love it. Um, and we're 5-0, and tomorrow's power rankings day on this show. Tomorrow is Brian Johnson getting more comfortable in the conversation. But yet, everybody outside of Philly, everybody's so down on this Eagles team. Even Eagles fans are down on the Eagles team. Hey, Peanut, what do you think of the Cowboys now being equal to the Eagles in your opinion? There's so many people not as confident as we are on this Eagles team. Yet everybody thinks the 49ers are this great team. Look at the opponents the 49ers have played and compare them to the Eagles. Actually, the 49ers schedule period this year 10 times easier than the Eagles. Just look at the difference. There's not. If anything, the 49ers have had an easier path to 5-0 than us. So let's not write this Eagles team off. They're starting to get, yeah, no rebuttals to my power ranking. Bam, take that. I would like to see motion at least. You know what? Actually, funny you say that, Marsha or K1. Um, I kind of saw one or two plays on Sunday where there was some pre-snap motion. And I'm like, did I see that right? And I never went back to look, but I think I saw two plays with pre-snap motion. I think in the second half of the game. I could be wrong, but I think I finally saw it. And they don't do it often. So could we get a wrestling link promo for the Phillies? Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Not this second. Maybe tomorrow. Kirk Cousins trade incoming. Yeah, there might be a couple quarterbacks that could trade it here. Him, Russell Wilson, he could get traded. A couple quarterbacks. Justin Fields, I've heard rumors. Kyler Murray, if you're not going to keep him, you might as well trade him. You might see 2 or 3 trades coming to quarterbacks coming up here soon. Why don't we use motion? I have no idea why we don't use motion. We should. Um, it definitely gives the defense something to think about. It's just the running back shifting from one side of first to the other. No, I saw a wide receiver or I saw some kind of like guy running. I saw something. I did see something came on. I just don't remember where. Why can't we get jet sweeps or wide receiver screens to work? You would think if Quez Watkins is a super fast guy like Nick Sirianni says, you would think it would work. It doesn't. Yeah. That's the best I could do at this moment on short notice. All right, it's time to wrap this show up. This shebang up, trending in the AM. Carson Wentz has more in the tank than Russell Wilson. Man, Russell Wilson looks like he is toast. Sean Payton looks like he should have stayed retired. The Broncos are done. They're a fire sale there. I thought Ron Rivera would be the first coach fired. Sean Payton might just quit. I don't know. He's not, though. But Wilson isn't playing as bad as people think. Denver as a whole sucks. There might be something to that for sure. $500 super chat would always be appreciated. I could pay somebody to fix my camera. Oh, you said next game Thursday night. No, Eagles play Sunday at 4:00. Boom, Eric again. Yeah, I wish every time I saw it typed in there, it was actually true. Adam, thank you very much, man. I appreciate you always. I greatly do. I swear Sean Payton ages every game. Sean Payton is a bum. Can you imagine Wentz in New York or Denver? They might be doing better. The fact that he doesn't have a job is kind of surprising to me. Russ isn't the problem in Denver, but he isn't the solution either. I think this is a fair. He's not the problem, but he's not the solution. He is part of the problem, and he could be the solution. But I said it before. Sean Payton, that was a mistake. It just was. But the Broncos were bad last year too, so maybe part of it is on Russ. Russ is running for office. I don't know. Anyway, we got to wrap this up, guys. It's 9:30. It's trending in the AM right here on Philadelphia Sports Network live every day. This week at 8 a.m. Talking all things Phillies, Eagles, Sixers. If you want to talk Flyers, you could try in the comments. I won't know the answer to any of your comments, but we'll try. If you want to talk Union, we'll do that too. This was not a PG rated show today, but we had a lot of fun today. Make sure you hit that like. I see 21 likes on YouTube, 7 on Facebook. You can still like the video. You can still like it on replay, comment on replay. You're going to get to acceptance one day. I am never going to accept a loss. Never. I am not the man. You are the man. And all the people watching this show and hitting that like button, you are the people that make this all possible. And I think the final comment I see coming in on the side screen, perfect way to end the show. Go Birds, go Phils, ole, ole, ole. Yeah. I think that's a perfect way to end the show, Duck. Thank you all for tuning in. Trending in the AM right here on Philadelphia Sports Network. Make sure you hit that like, share, subscribe button. It's free to do it. Go Birds. Go Phillies. Maybe go Sixers. You all have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow, guys.